I am ready.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to CFP Talks.
As
I'm
he's chewing on something. What are you chewing on?
I'm chewing on a milk dud.
Oh my God. Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Man,
Talks brought to you by Milk Duds.
dude, I haven't had this in forever. And somebody gave me this today, and I was like, yes, I love this. They're so good.
I was
I
not expecting that.
Me neither. And I forgot how good they are. But anywho, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great.
So the July exam's upon us. And I thought we could talk about today something you and I talk about a lot, which is we know the studying part of preparing for the CFP. What about the other 21 hours of the day? How do you approach that? Because I think we all know you got to sit down, you got to study. And we talk a lot about that part. And that's certainly the most important part of the process. But something that I think really resonated with you when we were prepping was the non-studying part. The stuff that I would talk to you guys about, like, hey, when you guys are done studying, go and do this. Or when you take your breaks, do X and do Z. Tell me a little bit about what you believe are the most important, the non-studying parts of studying that you think are the most important.
I'll list three and then we'll talk about them. Okay. Number one is your sleep and your rest. You need that. 2 weeks. I mean, you need it anyway, but specifically 2 or 3 weeks. I know we're in that time period right now. Everybody's crunch time. You need your rest, you need your sleep because you need to be fully functional and you need your body to be fresh. That's number one. Number two is if you already, if you're a gym person, I know you go to the gym, I don't know, every day, almost every day. I go to the gym 5 times a week. Like, so I'm used to doing it. Keep that part of your routine. Don't say, no, I'm not going to go to the gym because I need to study during those hours or whatever. Keep that part of your routine. You need to keep that, in your part of your lifestyle. And if you don't, incorporate it. And that doesn't mean go and start training for the Olympics. It could be a walk, it could be a bike ride, it could be a quick jog on, outside in the neighborhood. It could be a lifting light weights, whatever. Exercise that keeps your body sharp. And then number three with that is eating healthy. And it kind of goes along with all this stuff. All this stuff kind of goes into like keeping your mind and keeping your body. Yeah, exactly. Like milk them. But like, you know, eating healthy. And I don't mean go on like a kale diet or become a vegetarian or whatever. But I remember like 2 weeks before, maybe even longer, maybe 3 weeks to a month, like I didn't have any fast food. And like, not that I get fast food like all the time, but like on the weekends, I definitely like to get like a fried chicken sandwich or French fries or whatever. Like I cut that shit out 3 weeks before the exam or a month before the exam. Didn't overdo like pizza or whatever, anything unhealthy that you can think of. And again, I'm not talking about like going on this like extremely, extremely strict diet. I'm talking about just eating a healthy, balanced meal every day, not staying up studying, and this is actually an example that can take all this into account. Staying up late till 3 o'clock in the morning, which means you're going to get probably less than 5 hours of sleep, probably 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep that night. And while you're up, you're probably eating milk duds and drinking soda and Red Bulls and all that. All that is conventional. You did that in college, and I think a lot of people do that now. All that stuff is stuff that I believe is harmful to you as you are getting ready to take this specific exam.
Yeah.
So with that said, sleep, exercise, eat healthy. Now let's talk about it.
Okay, let's start with sleep. Okay. Now, I think we all know the benefits of sleep, but I think the first thing that everybody thinks about when they're taking a test is my sleep is automatically sacrificed. And I would beg to say it should be the opposite. It means that you got to prioritize your studying so you can sleep because, we all think about an exam and it's kind of like you go right into college mode in your head and you're like, oh, automatically, like, cram the couple nights before, stay up all night, go as hard as you absolutely can for those nights, and then go and spit it out on an exam. And it works in college to some extent. There's a lot of contributing reasons. You know, you're around other people who are doing something similar, so it doesn't feel foreign, but you don't have a job. That is your job, is to study. You're going to class every single day and you're getting educated on that topic. So there's a certain familiarity with it. But you can get away with it in college because, once the exam is done, you get to sleep. I had friends that would do that and then they would sleep straight for the next
The
24,
rest of the day.
you
Yeah.
know, like as an adult, as lovely as that would be, it would be great that if I stayed up really late studying till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, then I can sleep until 11 or noon. Cool, but I
It
know
ain't happening.
very few of us who have that liberty in their life where you stay up to 2 in the morning. Most of us are still getting up at the same exact time, so there's a real crunch of it. So the key here is the priority of getting sleep because it actually is going to make your studying more efficient because if you're sleeping, then you have better retention. If you have better retention,
Right. Exactly.
study less. So,
Exactly.
there is a domino effect of what happens when you sleep the current amount, a good amount, and also your ability to focus when you do sleep is significantly better. Right? You know what it's like feeling tired and groggy. You're looking at the same sentence 12 times in a
You're
row.
not, yeah, you're not studying like you think you are, like when you're up at 1 o'clock in the morning. But, and granted, I know it's not everybody, but when you're up at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's so hard to sit there and retain. If you are fresh and you feel sharp, your attention level goes astronomically higher,
Yeah,
and you just personally and feel better. And if
yeah.
you feel, it's like Dion said, you know, if you feel good, you're gonna play good. If you
And
feel good, you're gonna study good.
yeah, and I think, again, let's take that with a grain of salt. That doesn't mean every day is going to be amazing, wonderful. It means,
No,
but it
but
does
you're
mean
giving yourself a better
a
chance.
better shot at it. I agree with that. You're
Yeah.
giving yourself a really good shot to, like, you could sit there for 2 hours and really focus and get done more than what somebody would get done groggy and tired in 4 or 5.
Yeah. And when you told me, about a month out, like you need to be getting 17 hours of sleep, like I took that very, very seriously. Like very seriously. And I would make sure, if I was studying, I did do study session at night, but if it got to 10 o'clock, I was like, I'm done. I don't care. I don't need to go to the next chapter. I don't need to take 10 more practice quizzes. It's not going to make a difference on the exam. Most likely, that extra 20 minutes of studying, the sleep part is significantly more important.
I can't emphasize this enough because I've studied for enough exams where I know the exams that where I'm sleeping, I'm more relaxed.
Mhm.
So it flows better and I'm more focused. And then my day is better because, 2 hours of studying, even on a bad day, it's 2.5, 2:45, but it doesn't inhibit the rest of my life. So like if I have to run an errand, then here's something that I didn't think that I was gonna have to do, right? Like I got into a little fender bender and I gotta go take my car to the dealership, or I gotta get my oil changed, or I gotta go get this, and this done for the house. Again, if you're in that good routine, you're gonna have to like get yourself sleeping because it's going to keep you mentally sharp. It'll keep your stress down. It'll keep everything in good standing order.
Yep, exactly. And like, and just next two things, because it's all about, and I like, everybody knows like the study tips, you know, and we talk about over and over again what you need to know, what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. Like the reason I personally am really, really passionate about these specific items and these specific pieces of advice is because these are the things that you're not going to hear from a Danko live review course. Brett Danko's not telling you to sleep and get exercise and eat healthy. He's telling you, and this is no knock on him because it's all the stuff, it's all the exam review prep courses. Like they're not telling you all this stuff. And this stuff is imperative, in my opinion, and I know to you, imperative to you putting yourself in the best position and your body and your mind in the best position to pass the exam. So it's sleep. And then we talk about exercising and we talk about eating healthy. Why do we do that? Because that is going again to keep you in a state of mind where you're feeling good about yourself. And if you're feeling good about yourself, your retention and your effectiveness when you're studying is going to be significantly better than if you just ate McDonald's and haven't worked out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it alleviates exercising alleviates stress. And I know if you think like if you're going in with the attitude that like 30 minutes of exercise doesn't matter, I beg to differ. Like even 30 minutes, if you go to the gym for 30 minutes, if you go out for a 30-minute run, screw it, if you go out for a 30-minute walk, most of my exercise when I was studying for CFA was hiking because it was right around the corner from my house and I could go on a hike. It was good. I would get my heart rate up, but I would come back and I would just physically, I would get sun. Like it got me outside. It was like, I would get some sunshine. I would see people. And especially like on a Sunday morning, it became like really something that I look forward to because it was like my heart rate goes up and then I come back and I just feel calmer. Like it would take some of the edge off of that. But more importantly, it got my body moving. Like we sit so much in a chair at work. You're in a chair when you're like, we're always on our phones and we're always looking at a screen and we're always looking at a computer and we're sitting. Getting up and physically moving, it's necessary. And I'll say one thing about the eating healthy though. When I say eating healthy, I don't mean like you're not allowed to have Skittles or whatever. I'm talking about like 85% of the time eating good, healthy meals that are
Yeah.
satisfying and good. I'm talking about the thing that you want to avoid is the 2 a.m. ice cream binge,
Right.
7-Eleven seamless order where I ordered 16 different varieties of candy. And you wake up and you look at your table and you're like, oh my God, I'm a
So
pig.
yeah.
Like, why would I do this? Because again,
Right.
none of that's helpful. It's like you kind of talk yourself into it being like, this is my reward for studying because I feel bad for myself being up at 2 o'clock in the morning. And if you're getting sleep and you're working out and you're staying focused, remember that this is a process of discipline, not how hard you can go. And this is the mistake that everybody makes. The effort that you put in one day or staying up late, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I care about? Did you do it 6 days in a row? And then the next week, did you come back and do it six? Because it's a lot harder to study 12 out of 14 days than to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning on 2 Saturdays in a row.
Mhm.
And
Right.
that's this, and this is all the stuff that keeps you consistent.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. This
I
keeps you in the zone throughout the process.
gotta
You're gonna
say,
have times, yeah, you're gonna, this doesn't mean you're just gonna be like on a limitless pill like Bradley Cooper and you're just gonna be in the
oh,
zone 24/7.
incredible.
But this is gonna put you in the best possible position to be as sharp as possible for as long as possible.
Damn
And
right.
again, And again, these are the things like this is why like when people ask me like, oh, what are your tips? Like, oh, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not like, oh, make sure you study the grantor annuity trust like this and you do the option strategy like that. Like, no, like that's all subjective. People are gonna do their own stuff, like how you learn, blah, blah. This is all like the intangible stuff that nobody tells you about,
Yeah.
but is so imperative. And I have you to thank for that, like 100%,
Yeah.
because I would not be doing any of this stuff if it wasn't for you.
Yeah. And people are shocked when I'm like, they're like, okay, last week, what should I be doing? And they're expecting, okay, buckle down 6 hours a day. Here we
Yeah,
go.
mock exam every day.
You're never going to hear that from me because again, that's not the way success is bred. Like it's not the way that it's done. It's a consistent, concentrated effort. And these are the things that help you because motivation is going to wane. You're going to be tired. You're going to want to quit. And, I ran a poll on LinkedIn. I don't know if you saw it, David.
I did yeah, about cramming.
Well, no, the one before it, I ran that 2 week. The one I ran, I said, what was the hardest part of studying for a test? You know what the results were? I'm just going to read this and we'll close it up for the night. Pull up the post because I think this was one of the most interesting things was, it's one thing to think it, but it's one thing to actually hear people say it. So I put up the poll for 1 week. I said, what's the hardest part of studying consistently? Work, family, staying motivated. And the choices were work, family, staying motivated, or being tired and fatigued. Do you want to guess? Or did you see the results?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So overwhelmingly, okay, 67% of people, 133 votes. So we're not dealing with like 5 people. This is a fairly good sample size.
No, this is the Nissim tutoring fanboys all
Yeah,
over
all the fan, all my fanboys and fangirls.
it.
67% of people said staying motivated, being tired. 41% said staying motivated. So between those two things, staying motivated,
2/3.
being tired, and 2/3 of people, I thought I would see family being number one.
Or work. I thought work would be one too.
13% of people said family, 20% said work.
I figured work would be the most, but let me tell you something. I'm actually kind of happy with those results because because that's real shit.
Yeah.
That's real. That's like real answers. And that's what I think, although there's no right or wrong answer in that type of stuff, but I do actually think that those two are the right answers.
Like, I mean, it's real. Like, it, like the hardest part of studying consistently is having to study consistently,
Right.
right?
And
Us.
being up for it.
And we already know it's going to be hard, but by you take yourself out of the game every time you go to bed late. It's like when you're not working out, and like I didn't work out for a while because I had an issue with my health. And I remember getting back into it was like I'd stay up to 1 o'clock. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm too tired to go to the gym today. And especially like getting back into that habit was like, it's hard enough being consistent in building a habit for anything by eating unhealthy. Oh, I'm bloated. I don't feel like going to the gym. I feel like a beluga walking around. Oh, I slept late. I'm too tired. I came home from work and I just crashed. Those are all reasons, that take you out of the game. And the goal is staying in the game.
Mm.
So hopefully that's helpful. We know that this is like, and I know that these are things that not a lot of people talk about because the name of the game for all of us is, can I get a better cheat sheet or a better flat? And the reality of it is that most of the material out there for CFP, my own included, most of it will get the job done. There are differences, and mainly the differences is, do you understand the person teaching it and doesn't actually meet the goal? But a lot of them are in the same ballpark. The difference makers are these things. These are the true difference makers.
Yep.
because they
Yep.
keep you in the game. And if you're studying, you have a lot better, even if you're studying kind of stinky today, right? Like I used to say this when I used to coach at a CrossFit gym. I would say, uh, what would I say? Half-ass is better than no ass. I would say, and they would say, what do you mean? I would say, come in and work out. Half-ass the workout, but at least come into the gym. Because that half-ass workout, you're going to feel 10 times better than if you didn't go to the gym at all.
Right.
So half-ass is better. Well, I think I like that. I'm going to start saying it again. Half-ass is better than no ass. All right, everybody. Hopefully that's helpful on some of the intangibles of studying, and we will see you guys next week.